abuse and eradication of drug problems. Now, these are all schemes which would enable different persons of our society to get some help. Now, formally, as I told you, that Lok Adalat was the only thing which we are doing. Now, there are several schemes. With help of these schemes, we'll be helping our brother citizens, sister citizens. And I'm very sure that we all would be making an effort to see that we do all these things very sincerely. I'm sure that we will try to introspect in this All India meet. We will exchange ideas. We will try to see that we improve the schemes, we improve the method whereby we can do something better for the society. And I'm very sure that the Almighty is with us and we will be blessed by Him. And with help, His help, we would be doing something much better for the society. I wish you all the best. I wish all the best to the meet. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Sadanand Gowda, Honorable Minister of Law and Justice, to address the audience.
Honorable Sri Justice T.S. Thakur, the Chief Justice of India and Patron-in-Chief of NALSA, Sri Justice Anil Ardave, Judge Supreme Court of India and Executive Chairman NALSA, Honorable Sri Justice N.V. Ramana, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Chief Minister of Telangana, Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, Honorable Sri Dilip B. Bhonsle, Acting Chief Justice of the High Court of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, Sri Justice G. Chandraya, Judge, High Court of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and other distinguished guests on the dais and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to participate in this inaugural program of the 14th India Meet of the National Legal Service Authorities in the historic and happening city of Hyderabad, and to share my thoughts on the subject of legal aid and legal empowerment. Provisions of free legal aid is enshrined in the Constitution of India, and a duty is cast upon the state to secure it by suitable legislation or schemes. The Legal Service Authorities Act 1987 empowers the state to discharge this onerous responsibility through a central authority which is guided by the judiciary. The central authority oversees the work of legal services authorities at all levels: the Supreme Court, the High Courts, states, districts and talukas. These authorities are again supervised and run by the judiciary. It is but natural, therefore, to see a predominance of judges and judicial officers participating in this meet. I am happy to witness the release of legal literacy pamphlets for the visually impaired citizens of this country and the launch of the website of the Telangana State Legal Service Authority. In order to ensure wider coverage of the marginalized sections of the society, as rightly said by Justice Dave, 7 new schemes have been launched by NALSA on the Legal Service Day last year, covering areas such as victims of trafficking and commercial sexual exploitation, workers in the unorganized sector, mentally ill and disabled persons, tribals, children and victims of drug abuse. The coverage of public utilities under the purview of Lok Adalats have recently been expanded by including education or educational institutions and housing and real estate services. These are examples of efforts being made to reach out to all potential beneficiaries of legal aid. It also reassures the citizens of India that judges are committed to implement the lofty ideals of legal services enshrined in the Constitution. The discussions in the meeting of Central Authority and the conclave of Executive Chairman of the State Legal Services Authorities later today, and contributions proposed to NGOs tomorrow on the important issues like victims of trafficking and child-friendly legal services will no doubt send a message out that the legal services authorities are sensitive to the needs of all potential beneficiaries, particularly those who are marginalized and in greater need of legal aid. Still, we can't sit on our laurels. Our constitutional duty is far from discharge. In the book, The Idea of Justice, eminent economist Amartya Sen pointed out that, I quote, "What moves us reasonably enough is not the realization that the world falls short of being completely just, which few of us expect, but that there are clearly remediable injustices around us which we want to eliminate. We must focus on these remediable injustices. If the legal and judicial system seems to far removed and inaccessible to the poor and the marginalized, if they are unaware of their rights or they know their rights but are not aware of the process of availing those rights or perceive them to be too costly or prolonged, there will be discontent and alienation from the justice system, and we will be failing in our constitutional and moral duty to provide for such access to justice. It is imperative and moral duty to provide for such access to justice. It is imperative that the ways and the means are devised to reach out to these people rather than the other way around. Here, the role of legal services authorities is crucial. The legal service authorities are making efforts to engage this outreach. They undertake awareness camps, provide free legal aid through panel lawyers and paralegal volunteers, conduct lok adalats for both pre and post litigation cases, and continuously add additional categories of citizens who can benefit from their services. The figures of the beneficiaries of these activities are impressive. Just now, Honorable Justice Dave explained in detail how many pre-litigation cases have been settled and how many cases have been conducted by Lok Adalats in the last 2 years and all that. I don't want to go in detail, but I would like to say the recent National Lok Adalat held on 13th February 2016, about 3.64 lakh banking-related matters were disposed of. Going beyond the numbers, it is quality of legal aid provided that will demonstrate our commitment to the constitutional mandate. The Department of Justice had leveraged the Access to Justice project to train lawyers and paralegal volunteers and to get training manuals prepared on legal aid for the marginalized and for anti-human trafficking, apart from getting an independent evaluation of the services provided. I am happy to learn that the National Legal Service Authority has prepared training programs for both panel lawyers and paralegal volunteers, well thought out training programs focusing on the needs of legal aid based on the experiences from the ground will result in improvement of the quality of legal aid rendered. I hope that NALSA collaborates with the Bar Council of India, which also has a duty to render legal education, to work together with advocates to improve the availability as well as quality of legal services through the authorities. The recent recommendations of a committee constituted by NALSA to increase the fee structure for panel lawyers is a positive step to further motivate quality lawyers to join in these initiatives. It is in an unhappy situation where 2/3 of the jail inmates and under trials are under trials. It is almost a failure of our legal aid system that most of those who could have released but for the lack of legal aid or money for surety or bail bonds are poor and marginalized. The Apex Court has been mindful of the state of affairs of under trials languishing in jails in the country and has given certain additional responsibilities to legal service authorities in the case of inhuman conditions in 1,382 prisons. NALSA has taken the direction seriously and is working towards establishing fully functional legal aid clinics in all jails so that the cases of under trials can be under constant monitoring so that no under trial remains in jail for reason of lack of legal aid alone. A lot more need to be done on this front. We might have traveled miles, but we have many more miles to travel. Regular oversight on these causes is required to ameliorate the situation. Access to justice is collaborative effort of the state machinery and the judiciary. The central government has provided funding during the 13th Finance Commission award period for construction of ADR centers where Lok Adalats are also held. Apart from funding the training of judicial officers and mediators and conciliators, 284 ADR centers have been constructed and 13,646 mediators have been trained by the end of the award period. The 14th Finance Commission has endorsed similar activities now to be funded by the state government from their budgetary resources in the wake of additional fiscal space provided to them. Under phase 2 of the e-court mission mode project of my ministry, it is planned to provide computer hardware to all district and taluka legal services authorities so as to integrate them into the automated environment of justice dispensation envisioned under the project. The Parliamentary Standing Committee overseeing my ministry has been critical in the lack of full utilization of the budget by NALSA and has been recommending increased initiatives on access to justice. The committee has also expressed concerns over the lack of access to legal aid to the under-trial prisoners while visiting Nagpur jail recently. My ministry has been provisioning as much fund for NALSA as proposed by them every year. Our concern has been less on whether to provision for resources and more on how to justify the lack of full utilization of the budget. The government has budgeted rupees 140 crores this year, that is for 2016-17, and we hope that the legal service authorities will be able to fully utilize the amount. It will be worthwhile for us to use the deliberations later today to optimize use of available funds for increasing access to justice through various schemes and programs approved by the central authority. It is due to the commitment of the judiciary to the constitutional mandate on legal aid, and they are undertaking free legal aid, Lok Adalats and awareness camps, and focusing on socio-economic issues requiring provisions of legal services in addition to the core function of education. The world over, these activities are undertaken by the executive or executive-led institutions. It is even more impressive that our judges involved in the legal services activities undertake them during the weekends when they are not sitting in courts. But are we reaching out to all the poor and disadvantaged political beneficiaries, potential beneficiaries? Inaccessible justice costs all of us, but visits is the harshest consequences on the poorest people of our communities. Gone are the days when people just swallowed their pain and their loss and live with it, feeling in some unsatisfactory way that they cannot get justice. From the unprecedented increase in receipt of grievances, I can sense the intensity of the anger boiling within the people and realize the needs of revolution that are being shown. I have learned that the NALSA has embarked on an important initiative to develop a monitoring and evaluation mechanism for their activities. My ministry has requested them to include monitoring of grievances of citizens about legal aid services also in that mechanism. Once this mechanism is set up and going, we shall be able to identify steps required to improve the quality of legal services in addition to the sustaining the quantity of services in terms of number of cases disposed and people made of the availability of such services. With these words, I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. I thank you one and all.
The policy of the present government is to be people-friendly and not to encourage litigation on trivial issues. The government is also ready to settle the disputes with individuals by choosing alternative dispute resolution route as far as possible. As we are aware, the High Court is taking steps to construct mediation centers at all the district headquarters. The government will look into this and will provide financial assistance wherever considered necessary. The state has adopted constructive approach in facilitating and assisting the Legal Service Authority in all its activities and programs. I would reiterate the commitment of the state government in providing all necessary assistance and resources to ensure the effective functioning of Lok Adalats. On behalf of the people of the state, I extend heartiest welcome to all the high dignitaries and special guests attending this meet. We have made arrangements for your comfortable stay and successful deliberations of this conference in the city of Hyderabad. Any deficiency, any shortfall may kindly be excused. Thank you, one and all.
Honorable Shri Chandrasekhar Rao, Chief Minister of Telangana, Shri Sadananji Gowda, Honorable Union Minister for Law, Justice, my esteemed brothers, Justice Dave and Justice Ramana, Justice Dilip Bhosle, Acting Chief Justice, High Court of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, Justice Chandrasekhar, Justice Naveen Sinha, Chief Justice of Chhattisgarh High Court, Honorable Judges of the High Court of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, Justice Kakru, Chairman of the Human Rights Commission for the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, Chairpersons of the State Legal Service Authorities, members of the Central Legal Service Authority, member secretaries of the State Legal Service Authorities, judicial officers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I think you have heard enough since the morning about what we all do in legal service authorities, and I am sure most of you are very intimately connected with the legal aid programs because you hold offices in this entire system of legal aid and legal services. These national meets that we organize annually, the last meet was in Ranchi, these are held in different parts of the country, are occasions when we do stock taking of what we have done over the year, assess our successes and failures, and rededicate ourselves to the cause of making access to justice a reality. The need for these meets, I believe, has increased over the years, primarily because of the widespread activities which we have undertaken. There were times when legal services were confined only to giving legal aid to those who could not afford to engage a counsel, who are poor, and therefore the state stepped in, the legal aid system stepped in to provide a free legal counsel, a counsel at the expense of the state to take up the cause of the poor litigant. But over the years, that has changed, and I would say changed for the better. In the changed dimensions of our activities, providing legal aid to a poor litigant is just a fraction of the kind of activities that we have undertaken. And therefore, the challenges before the legal service authorities and the National Legal Service Authority have multiplied manifold. And once the challenges multiply, the need to meet, the need to discuss, to deliberate, to share experiences, and to evolve strategies also increases. And that is precisely why we encourage these national meets, because these are occasions when people from all over the country come up with ideas which have been experimented, which have been applied, and solutions which are found feasible to multifarious problems. Of the challenges that we have, number of them have been mentioned by my esteemed brothers, Justice Ramana and Justice Dave. But I think one of the major challenges before the legal service authorities in the country remain making access to justice for the poor. Conscious of that, we have over the past year and a half or 2 years tried to associate with our efforts the media. Earlier, we were not so much using the radio, the community radio, the television for purposes of dissemination of our programs or our availability or our support for legal aid. But over the past 1.5 years or so, we have been making use of that facility. And I must compliment those in the government for the positive approach and the positive role that they have played in making it accessible to us. But media alone is not enough. The involvement of the bar associations, the bar council, educational institutions, especially law colleges, is also a major area of our concern. We have seen in some of the states like Himachal Pradesh, in Jharkhand, in Haryana, partly in Punjab, educational institutions have been associated with the process of awareness programs. Small, very affordable kind of schemes which do not bring the entire system under financial stress or pressure have helped taking legal education to the grassroots. Improving the quality of the legal aid that we provide is another area. There is a general feeling that the kind of legal aid that we provide is not quality legal aid. There's a general feeling that only those who do not have any cases, who do not have any experience, who are not busy lawyers, they are engaged by us to be provided as counsel to the poor litigant. We have to overcome that challenge, and we have made some headway in that regard also. We have formulated training modules for training lawyers, legal aid lawyers, and I must tell you that that has taken off very well. The government has supported us. We have trained trainers, master trainers, who will then train the panel lawyers in their respective states. This training program was started in Delhi and it went off very well. I must compliment those who helped us, and I hope that the training programs will in times to come continue. Implementation of specific schemes is yet another challenge. Justice Dave mentioned to you that we have over the past 1 year formulated identified specific areas of concern. He read out to you the schemes that have been formulated. The importance of these schemes is evident from the fact that the Honorable Prime Minister was kind enough to come and preside over the launch of those schemes. There were certain misgivings in some quarters that the schemes that we have formulated are likely to come in conflict with what the state governments are doing. They may give a role to legal aid workers or legal aid functionaries that may bring the executive under pressure. But we have made it clear, not once, more than once, in almost all the occasions and conferences that we have had in the past, that our job in the matter of implementation of government schemes is only that of facilitators. What we are trying to say is this: if you have schemes, but the benefit of the schemes is not reaching out to the poor, then our job is to ensure that those who deserve their benefit under the scheme get it. Not by threatening the officers, not by using any other coercive means, but by persuasion. As a matter of fact, under the regulations of the state legal service authorities and NALSA, there are situations in which you can even file a public interest petition before the High Court. If supposing some authority, governmental machinery was not to act in tune with the rights of the poor, or for enforcement of the rights of the poor, you can go to the court to get them enforced. That recognizes the fact that we do not have any right in ourselves, any power in ourselves to enforce something. You are only facilitating the benefit flow to ensure that the benefit flows to the beneficiary. But these schemes are, they cover a very large area. For instance, the scheme that concerns unorganized workers in unorganized sector covers a total of 46 crores in this country. 46 crore people are working today in unorganized sector. Out of them, 14 crore are women. And as Brother Dave mentioned, these people in the unorganized sector do not have the benefit of having an association or a union through whom they can agitate or coerce the employers to concede to them their rights. They are left alone. They may be working as domestic helps, they may be working as drivers, they may be working as helps in the waiters in the dhabas and hotels, where you do not have an organized machinery for agitation or enforcement of rights. Such large is the constituency. If you look at it from plain figures, you will see 40 crores below the poverty line and 46 crores in unorganized sector is the kind of constituency that you have. You are working in this constituency. It's a very, very large constituency. And when you have such a large constituency to cater to or live up to the expectations of people of such a large constituency, you need to put your heads together. You need to meet, you need to discuss, you need to rededicate yourselves. And that precisely is the purpose why we meet annually in one of the places where whatever we have done over the past is reviewed, our failures and our successes are evaluated, and we rededicate ourselves. But may I tell you that it is not just the poor that is our constituency. There is a general impression that only the poor is our constituency. I don't think that is correct. Legal service authorities are doing something very, very significant even in the other areas. For instance, a rich man is driving a Mercedes, is a rich man, and he is found speeding. He is challaned by the traffic man. Now, it is our duty to ensure that the fine that he has to pay is paid quickly. Facilitate the payment of fine quickly. So, lok adalats for traffic offences, where the citizens get quick justice. You don't have to wait, you don't have to wait for the summons to come, you don't have to go to the court to engage a counsel. You can evolve mechanisms, you can evolve methods by which even the rich can benefit from the quickness of the system that you have. Somebody has taken a big loan from the bank. He wants a quick disposal of his case or claim. We provide that opportunity. It is not just the poor. The rich can also come forward and say, I have taken 2 crores, I want to pay back, but I want some concessions. So we provide a pre-litigation Lok Adalat where a rich can also come and say, I am ready to pay. And in the process, over the past 1 year, I won't say over the past 20 years what we have done, the figures will be phenomenal. You may not believe them, but over the past 1 year, since February 2015 till date, we have settled claims of 5,855 crores in pre-litigation, where people didn't have to go to the courts. They didn't go to the courts. We provided the platform for a settlement, and the settlement took place. And those settlements are decrees which are enforceable. It is not as though it is just some kind. And this, I believe, if in this scenario, in this background, if you look at the kind of work that the legal service authorities are doing, in as much as we are relieving the system of something like 2 crore cases over a period of 1 year, which would ordinarily land in the courts, I must say that we are making access to justice a reality. I must compliment all of you for your commitment towards this cause and for coming all the way from different places despite your, you see, preoccupations in your own states to attend this conference under the dynamic leadership of my esteemed brother Justice Dave, who is a very conscientious judge himself. I'm sure this process which has started 2 years back will continue and will rise to great heights.
In reaping the benefits of the National Legal Services Authority. Our distinguished Chief Minister for the State of Telangana, Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao, would now like to felicitate Honorable Sri D.V. Sadananda Gowda, Honorable Union Minister, Honorable Union Law Minister, on his visiting the state for this 14th annual meet of the State Legal Services Authority. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have the presentation of mementos and shawls to our dignitaries in the dais. The memento is specially designed by the Silver Filigree of Karimnagar district. The most fascinating aspect of the silver filigree is the element of newness, incredible craftsmanship, uniqueness, as a mark of respect and fond memorial to our distinguished dignitaries. May I request Honorable Mr. Justice Dilip B. Bhosle to present the memento and shawl to Honorable Mr. Justice T.S. Thakurji. We now have the presentation of memento to our beloved Chief Minister, State of Telangana, to Sri K. Chandrasekhar Rao. We now have the presentation of memento and shawl to Sri D.V. Sadananda Gowda, Honorable Union Law Minister. Sorry. We now have the presentation of memento and shawl to Honorable Mr. Justice Anil R. Dave, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Presentation of memento to Honorable Mr. Justice N.V. Ramana, Judge, Supreme Court of India. May I now request Honorable Mr. Justice G. Chandraya, Judge, High Court of Judicature, Hyderabad, and Executive Chairman, Telangana Legal Services Authority, to propose the vote of thanks.